Hello there, this is Fabian speaking, and this is a tutorial on creating something like this. I got a lot of questions from users who asked me how I did this in the demo for locations, so I thought I put together a tiny tutorial and show you how to go about creating something like that. As you can see, we got some optical flares in there, we got some text, we got these markers, and we got this earth with some weather patterns and the map on it. So the earth is created in Element 3D. This is vital for this tutorial. If you don't have it, go on, get a demo version or just buy it. It will be fun if you have it. And it's based on a preset Andrew Kramer created, and I extended it a bit to get closer to the Earth. First of all, what do we need? We need, of course, AE CS4 or higher. We need Video Copilot element, as I told you. We also need to get our CSV data cleaned up, Sublime text, go get it. We're gonna use a script of mine, it's called locations. You can get it for name your own price. That doesn't mean you shouldn't pay anything as something, that means you can evaluate it. No, it doesn't matter, just use it. But I'm pretty happy if somebody gives me some bucks to keep developing. We're gonna use a map just for creating a fast map. We're gonna use Zorro the Layer Tagger by Lloyd Alvarez. Pretty great script for sorting out your layers and keeping tons of layers tidy. We're gonna use an Earth preset Andrew Kramer created. You can get it here. It's After Effects project and also Element 3D model. So just place the models under Documents, Video Copilot, Models, My Models, and it will appear in your Element 3D interface. And you can also download the project, but we don't need the project files. It's just a good reference, a good point to start. What else? We need some texture maps. Why? Because in this example, there's, I think, 4,000 pixel texture map used, and it gets blurry if you get closer to the Earth. So if you don't want to use a map to create an Earth map, you can get some texture maps here at Natural Earth by Tom Patterson. So here on Natural Earth 3, you can find lots of texture maps, like Earth with clouds in 16K, that's pretty big. It makes After Effects slower, so just swap them out at the end. And you can have it without the clouds, you can have it without the Arctic ice, and lots of stuff like that. There's also this Earth at night, but recently NASA released another Earth at Night model. So this is the latest data from Earth at Night, and you can get whatever you want here. So as you can see, there's pretty huge GeoTIFF and also pretty huge JPEGs here. So just select one depending on the speed of your computer and how detailed you want to create your Earth. So just browse through the NASA Earth Observatory. You can find lots of great images there, and there's also a lot of GeoTIFFs and whole world maps you could use. You also can get some nice texture maps here at the Celestia Motherlode. So this is, for example, a moon texture map. This is just for educational purpose. So if you want to use them commercially, you should ask the authors. And here's also, for example, a sun. You could use a sun map where you got some sunspots on it. It's pretty nice if you want to add a sun to your comp or add a moon to your comp. And as you can see, there are lots of planets, so you could build your own planet system. We need this dataset from GeoCommons. On this dataset there's no map created from it, but that doesn't matter. We just want the spreadsheet. Maybe I can open it in a new window. Yeah. We want this spreadsheet. Copy paste this into Sublime Text and save it as how it's called, US All States. So I just save it. There's some stuff we don't need. So if you're using Sublime Text, you can see we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 headers, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns here. But we don't want the name column because this is just junk. So delete this one. Select the state abbreviation with a comma and go to Find and Quick Find All. So you got them all selected and just delete them. And we're good to go. We also could rename this here to name, so our location script will find it faster. Just save it, and that's it. Let's create this. Make a new comp. Let's make it 720p, and create a new solid. We call this our E3D Earth and hit OK. So select it, go to Effects, Video Copilot, Element, go into your scene setup, and under My Models you will have the Earth created by Andrew Kramer. So you applied your Earth. First thing we got to do is turn it by 90 degrees. So select the model, not the textures, and set the orientation to 90 degrees. So this point is the latitude, longitude, 0 point. So we need this at the front. And let's have a quick look at the maps, at the texture maps. On the diffuse channel, you can add in your own Earth texture map. If you have one with clouds, without clouds, when you got them at shade relief. In the specular panel, I can show you, it's just a grayscale map of the Earth, so the specular will be on the white parts. The illumination channel will hold the Earth by night image. As you can see, this is 4000 pixels. The ones you can get from NASA, 16 or 45, but the 45,000 pixel texture maps don't work, so it will crash your element. And on the bump channel, we got this normal map, and that's it. Edit your Earth later on, I think, would be better. What I'm gonna do right now with the diffuse channel, I'm gonna desaturate it and give them a bit more contrast, so we get more of the look of these grayscale Earth I created. We got our Earth. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna create our markers. So just allow the scripts to write files and access the network. I promise you I won't do bad things with it. Open locations. Let me bring this over here. And here we go. First of all, we're gonna create the markers on the Earth. So read in your CSV file. You change with Sublime Text. And he fills in the latitude, longitude, and the name. And we're gonna create a marker pre-comp, make it 3D. So if you didn't change anything in the comp, didn't add a camera, didn't do anything, just added the Earth, just build locations, and the markers already get at the right place, and also the distance to the center is created by 250 pixels, and that's the radius of the Earth. That's basically created by element. So here we got our first batch of markers. And right now we are gonna run into our first problem. The problem is, these markers are right, but we got, for example, this one, that's Hawaii, it has to be on the other side. So if you need to do a real turn around the Earth, you need to mask them out or reduce the opacity of them. I didn't find an automated approach for that, so I'm just gonna make the move onto the Earth like you can see it here. I just didn't run into this problem because I'm not behind the Earth. If you want a more automated version of that, you could go like this. I got this marker and let me show you. I added expression. I don't got it enabled right now, so you can see the problem. And I got this dolly, and this dolly is in the center of this Earth, and the camera is parented to the dolly. So right now, if I turn the dolly around, you see the point has to be behind the Earth, but he isn't. How could we go about this is to use this expression. Let me get this into something where you can see better. So the basic concept is we get the camera, we get the position of the camera, we got our target, that's the marker. We got the position of our target marker, and we calculate the distance from the camera to the target position. And with a 35mm camera, the distance will be about 2410 pixels away from the camera when he goes behind the Earth. So if the distance is bigger than the maximum value, set it to 0. If the distance is smaller, set it to 100. And as you can see, I activated the marker and it works, he disappears. It also works if you turn the Earth, that's no problem. But if you start turning the camera or moving the camera around or moving the dolly, you see, oops, let me put this here so we can see it. You see the marker disappears because the distance is greater than defined in our expression. This could be a way. I'm not gonna dive into this. This has to be done by hand or adjusted by hand. So we keep it in front of the camera. Let's get back to our comp. And here we got our markers. We're gonna add another section of markers, and that's the, let's take the short name of the states. And once again, now we're gonna use text. Let's open up first our character settings. Yeah, I like this font. Make it black. All fills over all strokes. Make the stroke white. 1 pixel. Make it capitalized, that looks good. I don't want it bold. And also we're gonna have a look into the characters and the paragraphs and make it centered. So now, make sure you don't have something selected, so you get own center null. If you have something selected, you will add the radius slider to the selected layer. So deselect everything and hit build locations. He's done. We got this center. This is our text center. Let's name it text. And this center, this is the center for our markers. Let's name it markers. Let's bring up Zorro. I know I could do this by hand, but I love to use Zorro and I always add the Zorro text, so why shouldn't I? Go to the select tab and just select the second import. Here it's import 3 because I made a mistake that I cut out. Sorry. Just hit select. Wait a moment. And let's change this color so we don't get confused with our null objects. Also, this is the null for the text. Let's add a short Zorro tag. And also to this null, add the same Zorro tag. So, here we go. Let's add a camera. Layer, new camera. Let's do it 35 millimeters. Name it cam1, like it short. And turn it so we can see our markers. There we go. Let's zoom in a bit. As you can see, the text is right now just above the markers. We want to bring them into space, so go to the center text, reveal the effects, and here we got our radius slider. And now if we bring this up, we get our names into space. You can do lots of funny stuff with it, like connecting them now with plexus, but I'm not gonna go down this road right now. Now we can do some styling on it. So if you're alright with the positions of your text, let's maximize that frame. Select all your text layers, hit U to reveal the properties with expressions. Just select them all. And now we're gonna bake them. Here we go. In CS6, you can do this via the keyframe assistant. In older version of After Effects, you can't do this, so he won't bake them all. He only bakes one, but there are some scripts out there that are useful for baking several expressions. That's baked, and just delete these keyframes. We don't need them anymore. And now we do the same thing for the markers. And again, keyframe assistant, convert the keyframes. And also delete them. Nice. Close them up, deselect it, and just restore the frame size. So we want to change this marker because that doesn't look nice right now. So just go in there, zoom in a bit. We got a 25 by 25 pixels comp. Let's make this a bit bigger and adjust the size within the comp later on, so we can see more in here. Just, saving is a good thing. Just go in here. I've set the fill to 75%. Let's change that. And we keep it black at the bottom. Make it 3D. Duplicate it. Position. By just -1 pixel. Let's make -2. And scale this marker down, like this, and we give him a different fill color, and duplicate it again, bring up the position, let's make it -4, and also scale this one down. So, and we give him a gray fill color. I think this looks nice. You could also add some animation where he pops up. Let's have a quick look at our marker. Now this can look good. This is the original size. Let's get back to the main comp. Now our marker looks pretty weird, but we just select import one. Oops. Scale it down a bit. 25%, and collapse the transformation. We zoom in a bit and shut off the depth of field of the camera. Maybe they should be still smaller. Just select the import again. Go down here, we get scale here, and make them even smaller. If you Shut off the layer controls. Yeah, this is a problem here. Keep them at 13%. As you can see, it already gets pretty blurry here with the small texture maps. So we need to fix that. So let's add a star field to that. You can get the star field at Natural Earth here. Just go to the extra data, and down here that's a pretty huge star field. I already got it in my comp. So just take the star field, drop it onto a new comp, and we add some curves. There are a lot of points in it, and we don't want so many stars. And we're also gonna desaturate it a bit. Human saturation, and just pull down the saturation. So this comp is 6000 to 4500 pixel. Let's add a mask to our star field so we don't get any weird corners. So we got our alpha channel. Hit F, it's FF to reveal the feather properties. Feather the mask out, maybe a bit more. And bring in the mask expansion so our feather doesn't get cut off. Yeah, that looks right. So we got our new star field. It's this one, move it out here. And go back to our locations Earth. For the moment, just solo or 3D Earth. That's faster. Bring in the star field, make it a 3D layer, reveal the position properties, and move it to the right. Yeah, I know, to the right, not to the left, not to the back, because we're at the left side of the globe. Bring up the rotation properties and rotate it by 90 degrees, something like that. So now if you move our camera, not too much, but we get some moving stars in the background. So here we go. Can turn our Earth and the stars move with it. You also could orient this always to the camera. Maybe the rotation then makes a problem. So here we go, this is always oriented to the camera. I think that's enough. Yeah, look. This looks good. So let's get back to our active camera. Move it a bit. To make this a bit more stylish, I added a glow. Just a simple glow to the Earth. And I don't use the color channels, I use the alpha channel. I don't like it in blue, so I use yellow for that. This is a problem you're gonna face. Just don't move the Earth out of the frame and you're good. Or do some pre-composing. And I want more yellow. And yeah, that's on the outside. More yellow. Threshold doesn't do anything with the alpha channel. Yeah. So as you can see, that's already pretty tough to render. So let me turn this down. I chose a more graphical view. So I used AEmap to create a world map we can use. I made it at a scale of 40. That gives me a comp of 14,400 pixels. Let me show you. The width, the basic width is 360 times 40, so we're at 40,000. The biggest comp After Effects can hold, it's about 30,000 pixels, but this will slow down your After Effects and your Element 3D maybe can't handle this. I just add the stroke right away and name this our graphic world map, and just draw our map. And here we go. We don't need a map anymore. We just didn't get the stroke above everything, so here we go. 2 pixels is okay. A fill color of black is also okay. Let's just throw out Antarctica. Always looks better like that. And we add a new background. Yeah, something like a dark gray. Move it to the back. And to this background we add a ramp. And make it a radial ramp. Set this to 720. Move this, oops, no, that's not what I wanted. Sorry, that's layer controls. We want the black part in the center. So this is 720 to 720. And these ones we also set to 720, and we move the white one out, and maybe we also exchange the white for a bit more gray. We want this part of the map, so don't worry if this is black, but this gets gives our globe a nice touch. And with a radial ramp, and if you keep these straight, you don't gonna get any hard edges. We add some noise. To our background. Don't use color noise and bring this amount to about 5. And maybe we just lower the opacity of our map a bit. And we make a frame from this, save it to our images. Not a Photoshop file, make it a JPEG file. Lower the compression a bit, maybe at 7, that's good. Make sure it's the best and the full resolution. Save it and just render that file out. Import it again. So, and this will be our world map. This is pretty huge right now. So let's solo Element 3D, go to the scene setup, go to the materials, and load the newly created image as your world. So here we go. Now you can fiddle with the values here if you want to. Right now I don't want to fiddle with it. Oops. Just reset it. Hit OK. For my version I didn't use the elimination, but you could exchange it, use it not. I just brought it down to 0, and also the bump I reduced it so we don't get that much bump. And the specular, we keep it as it is. And I don't want this to be blue, maybe we make it more yellowish, like the rest of our styling. All right, let's see how this looks. This is already pretty hard to render for him sometimes if you go to the high res. So it depends always on how near you want to get to your Earth, what texture map you're gonna use. Let's save this. And I added another copy of our Earth. So let's duplicate this and bring this between the markers and our text. And this will be our clouds layer. Remove the glow. Go again into the scene setup, and on our Earth texture we remove the graphical world and exchange it with one of the clouds math we can get from Shade Relief. So just select the clouds map, hit OK. We don't want the specular map, we don't want the highlight, we don't want the Earth normal, and we also want the diffuse to be white. No specular. Maybe we leave some shininess in there. It's all okay. And we force some opacity so we can see a bit through it. That's good. Hit OK. And now we got a cloud map. So go to the group 1 and to the particle look and set it to 11. And this cloud map, we set it to screen. I think screen is good. And just add in, it's a bit big, I think. Add in the Earth, maybe some markers behind our clouds, so we can see something. But 11 is a bit big. So with the clouds, let's go to 10.5. Yeah, maybe even smaller. Now you could, to make some movement, you could rotate this cloud map. So just let's select everything and remove the solo. Here we go. You could now start fiddling with some depth of field on the camera or do stuff like that. But I won't do this. What I'm gonna do the camera move. So bring back our camera. Maybe we do this soloed with some layers so we don't get so much to render, and maybe some of these markers. So just reset the camera, and we're gonna try to use the graph editor to make some nice camera moves. But it's easier with a dolly, but I don't always want to add a dolly to my comps. So move out the camera, hit Alt P, move over some frames, move in with the camera, move over some frames, and we move in a bit more, and also move our position. Yeah. So it always makes stuff like this. But a fix for this is to have a look at the graph editor and remove the reference. We make this one easy ease and have a look again at the graph editor, and here you see the problem. He goes up and goes down again. We want this to be at the same point, but we need to move this down and move this also down. So now he moves in here, and there we go. Also, we have to edit the speed, because you can see he starts at speed bar of 800 pixels per second, but we want to start them at 0 and end at 0, and want him to be in the middle, the fastest, or make a curve from it. Yeah, maybe we do a curve like this. So here's fast point here, and then he slows down. The graph editor is also not always the exactest thing. I never get the hang of it, how to edit these points, but this is better than before. So we got out this strange behavior. So again, you should have a look at all of these strange curves so you can edit your values better. So let's have a look how this looks. Where are our soloed layers? Remove the solos. And here we go. That's it for this tutorial. Just render it out. I rendered it in separate layers so I can do some more color correction. I also added the flare in here, but I don't need to show you how to use optical flares and track a light. I'm pretty sure you can do this. I rendered it out. I rendered the flare. I added a fast blur to the flare so it gets a little bit softer. I rendered the markers with our clouds, and I also rendered my earth and added this glow and stuff like that, and added some mojo, some curves, some noise, and here we go. We got some pretty nice animation with that. That's it. I hope you find this useful. If you have any more questions, just leave a comment here, wherever this might be, and I get back to you. See you.